Hello and good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Join us because coming up we have a fantastic sporting actions, interviews and scores from your weekend sports. Before we move on to the show, let's take a look at what's on the show tonight. Coming up, we have an interview with Brendalyn Kipma, founder of the Wolves Softball Club. We have the scores and interviews with Boracay Off-Season Rugby League Tournament Director Amaima David. We also managed to catch up with former national soccer coach Mark Petrakis as he reflects on his contribution to PNG football.
Sean, who's the national president, to be involved with Oceania, but I don't think that's helping the game here.
Moving on with the show, we were very fortunate to grab an interview with Brendalyn Kipma, founder of Wolves Softball Club. We also have the softball scores for you. Let's take a look.
Okay, Wolves Softball Club is a newly established club. It was formed last season by 4 families. That's my husband and I, Vincent the Kipmas, Joy and Laxton Zale, who this year have moved on to join Yokomo, their family. And so we're left with the Toboltons and Eileen Griffin. This season was a boost for us to have David and Stephanie Manning to come in. Our club was formed with the aim of helping to develop the youngsters who wanted to play the game of softball. A lot of children out there and even teenagers want to play softball, but they don't know which club to join. So ours was mainly focused at our youngsters, and that's why we formed this club.
What do you hope to achieve throughout the season?
Throughout the season, we hope we take each game as it comes, and we hope to better ourselves after each game. For our developing grade, that's B grade. As you can see, our B grade have just played, and we slightly have a couple of older women, myself included in the B grade. We basically did that to strengthen the teams. So we have strength in A and B as well.
Where is sponsorship of the club?
Sponsorship, our club is basically self-reliant. We rely on ourselves. This year was a boost when, from all our little fundraising drives we did, we were able to secure a pitching machine for the club. And I think we're the only club that has that currently.
Can you tell me about the Christmas period leading?
Oh yes, leading up to Christmas, we did one of our charity activities, and that was visiting the Port Moresby General Hospital, the children's clinic. It was good. We provided them dinner, of which I think the nurses said that for the first time, most of the patients had 3 rounds of serving. And we were also able to donate gifts as well, which we gave more than one gift to everyone. I think everyone ended up having probably 3 or 4 gifts.
Now, clubs sometimes fizzle out after time. Are you hoping that the Wolves are here to stay for the long run?
It is our deepest wish that Wolves is here to stay. Basically because our club is formed by families, and those who have joined us are friends of families who are already playing. And we're not only stuck to that, we're still open to anyone who wants to come and join next season.
The Wolves Softball Club of Port Moresby is determined to maintain their form after round 2 commences this weekend. Formed in 2012 by Captain Vincent Kipma and his wife Brendalyn, the club has tasked itself the goal of transforming from competition newcomers to title contenders. Boasting a new pitching machine, believed to be the only one in the country, sponsorship of the club has come from within, with fundraising drives coming in the form of private funding and weekend barbecues. The majority of its players are new recruits, with most of the B grade having never played softball before, although the club fully maintains its philosophy of bringing in anyone interested. The club management is also proud of the fact that prior to the festive season, they were able to bring a little Christmas cheer to patients at the Port Moresby General Hospital as part of their campaign. Other clubs that participate in the Port Moresby Softball League include Chibu, Montauk, Bears, Stingers, Yokomo, Gazelle, Defence and PNG Power. Currently in the men's division, United Brothers hold top spot, with Bears close on their heels, Gazelle, Yokomo and Brown Eagles rounding out the top 5. And in the B grade division, Stingers and Defence share top spot, with PNG Power in 4th. Forfeits have affected manta rays, with both A and B grade teams struggling at the bottom of the table.
And there you have it. That was Brendalyn Kipma and the scores for softball. We now take a quick look at the netball games from the weekend.
The Port Moresby Corporate Netball Competition continues to showcase the talents of netball enthusiasts. Designed as a social event away from the rigors of the office, the city's working women showed class and skill as they took on their corporate rivals. ExxonMobil in purple started brightly, although the competitiveness of B-Mobile was difficult to counter, with defense being the key to B-Mobile's strategy. B-Mobile were able to capitalize on unforced errors by ExxonMobil, with goal attack Keila Begari creating good space and shooting opportunities, with her attacking partner, goal shooter Ann Dobbin, wasting no chances. The game ended with B-Mobile 26 goals to ExxonMobil's 3. It was a much tighter affair between Caveman Construction, who took on a very determined Starland Freezers. Both teams traded goals, with Caveman eventually holding out for a narrow 16-14 victory. Also on hand from Port Moresby's expatriate community was the Australian High Commission team, although later rivals of teammates was a slight concern.
That was a highlight of the netball games covered over the weekend. Don't go away, because coming up on the other side of the break, we have an interview with the Boroko Off-Season Rugby League Tournament Director Amaima David, plus the scores. It's time for the Boroko Off-Season Rugby League match that took place over the weekend at the Unagi Oval at Gordons. We managed to have an interview with the tournament director, Amaima David.
Mi now mi bato osama miga four games lo isla competition lo mi in the Boroko Off-Season League Sports Ministers Cup. I'm started 4 more games started 4 more weekends 4 more rounds started na mi now you looking now and one blood isla 4 rounds. 3 more rounds started before we go into the knockout or top 8. So me like talking about clubs too. Also, those clubs, fully affiliated. Big fee where me been put in. Just 100 kina blow B grade, na 200 kina blow A grade. Where also all previous years where all past all presidents and all officials blow the Boroko League been demanding all clubs to pay 500 to 700 kina one clubs. Me cutting them down to 300 kina and me looking for some plenty clubs only paying 3 quarterly or paying finished but 3 or 4 clubs only not paying yet. You must pay 2 and other clubs been paying half. Me like him, you must fully complete into the 300 kina affiliation fee before me going to the top 8. After 3 more weekends, but me going to the top 8 or knockouts. So me begging you other clubs where fully completing affiliation fee you and by costing club you going to the top 8. So me like him, you must pay him up over the fee you so that them help you by eligible or play into the top 8. Suppose you start into the top 8 level. Suppose you start into the top 8 level, even completing the fees you. And definitely, me president of the league, me talk out straight, and you buy in the top 8, but you miss him out. And me la talk straight, la competition was as a new president of the league, and Yambla man, me go past the league, me no arrange the league, and by die out halfway, you blow looking finish and development become PRL. Me no feel down, me just come out, me try and find all over come, na me look mo monagi wall and bla good bla feel and stop. Na me kissing finish na me how much me now me heavy more games to me first weekend games to me lots la new bla wall. Na me so me carry on after this season I'm completed I'm go to finals finish. Next season I'm on, but me come back to feel or continue. Na me la talk thank you all sponsors, especially all sports ministers where me been put in la title was Sports Minister Cup in la competition because me looking was la Boroko League consists of 2 electorates all other clubs in la take part in la competition and come out lo suburb na settlements in la 2 big electorate in la must be city must be South Electorate na must be Northeast Electorate. Where tupla leader me, Minister of Sports, Honorable Justin Chachenko, one time Honorable Labi Amayu, must be Northeast. To want them staff so makes him advise me when we put him la title as a sports minister's cup na me put him finish na me carry on one time la competition na me come through so apart from la sports minister's cup me no seguro one la sponsors outside or apart from la sports minister's cup where title me put him finish so when we concentrate na me top winners na me come towards lo end lo competition and 3 more rounds before lo top 8 or finals competition and run good and run strong and tough overall players, all city league players, especially all Port Moresby Rugby League players, all two will take part. Now all players we all know got opportunity to play in the PRL, all two will start but all got skills and talents so all come out, all swim, all play. Na me no care, me no even try to restrict him, na rouse him all intensity or all kumul player too, me no even strict or no come the rule or law to him by all na play. Overall take part in all play. Na even no come coaches, but over clubs too. Na me how much is la. Na it's la competition, there's la Borgo League. I'm come out una game, I'm tough, na I'm go strong. Na me how much and by me competition la competition with them good la high note. By me competing on them high note. Because by me go successful na presentation na even top 8. Over the games below finals na grand final even grand final too. By me hosting here yet. By me na go out one bla. By me hosting here. Because me lugos and security wise na over something and me lugos am alright.
And taking a look at the scoreboard for the Boroko Off-Season Rugby League, A-Grade Division Kanage Tribesmen versus Sapphire Green defeating Kanage Tribesmen 10 points to 6. In the B-Grade Division, PBF 4 Mile Cats beat Backyard Tigers with 2 points lead, scoring 10 tries to 8. And looking at the forfeits, Salt Power versus Manu Raiders also forfeited with Salt Power taking the points 20-0. Vada United versus Boroko Bulldogs also forfeited with Bulldogs securing 20 points. That was Tournament Director of Boroko Off-Season Rugby League Amaima David and the scores for the Off-Season Rugby League. We'll go for a quick break. Don't go away because coming up on the other side we have some excellent sports actions from Kimbe Rebels. That's coming up. Watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene, welcome back. We are now going to join Mark Patricus as he updates us and reflects on his contribution to PNG football. Mark Patricus.
But what you must remember, women's soccer officially didn't exist here until 1989. Okay, men's soccer has been around for longer, but women's soccer didn't exist, and there was a resistance from the regions to allow women's soccer, and if it wasn't for Wep Kanawi, we wouldn't have women's soccer in PNG. Well, we would eventually, but if you knew what we had, what Wep and myself, because at that stage I was with the national body and Andrew Waho, right? We would never have got women's soccer. We had to put it in the agenda at the AGM, so no one would read it. They would vote on it without reading it to get it passed. And when it came out, after the meeting, we said okay, well the first national women's soccer tournament will be held in Mount Hagen, and I actually went up to officiate the tournament. There was all sorts of ramifications from the regional bodies, from everybody in PNG. There was, you can't do this because of women aren't supposed to play soccer and things like that. But certainly Wep, Andrew and myself were firm believers in it. We actually won games. We lost to New Zealand 1-0, and New Zealand was the second best country in Oceania. Unfortunately, politics gets involved in soccer in PNG a lot, and it's not always a good thing. And again, my belief, because at the time I had that side, if we didn't have the political interference in 1991, when we went down to Melbourne to play Australia in the Olympic qualifiers, we lost 3-1 to Australia. But I believe that if we were let to go down with the squad that the coach had selected, we would have beaten Australia. I'm a firm believer in that because that squad had been put together over 4 years. And, players like Desmond Walker, and Desmond was a great player. My belief is that Desmond is the best player this country's produced. Kemmer Jack, I see him, he's a good, fantastic footballer. But Desmond in his prime was absolutely magnificent. Desmond, in reality, if we were ever going to have a player go to Europe, Desmond was the player.
What about the younger generation now that you see?
I haven't seen much of the younger generation now, and I'll start. Once the National League. Again, I think there's too much focus on the National League, which is good being a semi-professional league, but the lower leagues are stagnating. Look, yes, I think that is. And the other thing, and this might be criticism from an old bloke, soccer has been in this country since day one. And we still haven't got a home. We play NSL games on that rugby league ground. The ground is up and down. It's like playing in the Highlands, going up and down the mountains. We should be playing out at the main stadium, out at Sir John Guy's, or even at Hubert Murray, but Hubert Murray's now gone. Or better still, we should have upgraded Bassini. And the money should be put into soccer grounds, not in rugby league grounds. Because soccer hires the rugby league ground, and the money goes back into rugby league. And I don't believe that that's what we should be doing as a code. I think the national team and the national youth sides and the women's sides have got to compete more internationally. As we spoke earlier, in the 80s when I was involved and Andrew Wahua was involved and Web Kanawi was involved, we had no money, right? We had very, very minimal sponsorship, and the sponsorship was about 20,000 kina a year. And we used to get 17,000 kina a year from the regional bodies as their affiliation fees, and that was all the money the PNGFA had, unless we raised money through fundraising and things like that. Yet we were able to travel 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 times a year with national teams overseas. When I first started coaching search in the national team against the Australians and the New Zealanders and the Fijians, we used to line up in the tunnel and our boys have their heads down because they'd already lost the game. I said, no, listen guys, the Australians have got 11 heads, 22 arms, 22 legs, exactly the same as us. And the 1-0 result against New Zealand, and really the 1-0 result, we should have beaten New Zealand. It was my fault. As a coach, it's my fault. I'll go to my grave believing that was my fault that we lost 1-0. But so we went from 12-0 against Australia, losing 12-0, to suddenly we're losing 3-1, and now we've gone back the other way. If we played Australia today, that would be 12-0. It would be a cricket score.
What would be one of your highlights?
The highlight? Lay's under-18 champ. That one there, Lay's under-18 champ, or Lay Juniors take the title. That was probably the highlight, because Port Moresby had won the National Youth Championships, I think 4 or 5 years on the trot, and Lay was a distant second. And for me, that game. I can remember it right now. I could tell you exactly what happened in that game. I could commentate that game. There was lots said about the game. They said I smoked 20 packets of cigarettes. I don't smoke anyway, but somebody said I was smoking. But I don't remember. I remember the game. I remember the game very, very vividly. I remember and that was probably the highlight.
Do you have a low point?
Low point? 91 South Pacific Games. 91 South Pacific Games. Absolutely.
If you had the chance to coach another side and do it all again, would you take it?
Oh, look, I think if the opportunity arose, the drive is still there. there's certainly, I'd love to be involved with the game again. There's a couple of boys here who want me to be involved, and I think from a coaching point of view, yeah, look, there's no question we could certainly do it. I think I've got a lot more to offer in somewhere else. I'd love to help the PMSA forge a better relationship with the national body, and that's a tragedy because PMSA and the LFA as well really should be as close to the national body as can be, because they are the two strong areas for football in PNG. And for football to improve, the whole country, football country has to pull together.
And that was Mark Patricus from PNG Football. We'll go for a quick break. Stay with us because up next we have some great sporting actions from Kimber Rebels right here on Coca-Cola Sports. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Well, unfortunately, time has caught up with us. But before we go, please don't forget to grab yourself a Coca-Cola soft drink from your nearest shopping outlets. Not only you get excitement from Coke, it gives you great taste and more value for money. Before we go, we have some cool sporting actions from Kimber Rebels. Enjoy. There you have it, some great sporting actions from Kimby Rebels. Thank you for watching Coca-Cola Sportsing on this lovely evening. You can check us out on Facebook, like our page, or tune into Hotsport for more of the latest sporting actions. Until next Monday evening, I'll see you next week, right here, same time on Coca-Cola Sports Scene. I'm Godwin Eki. It's bye for now.